Why, hello. Good morning, good evening, or if you're Trev, good middle of next week. I don't know. My name is Eric Eilersen. I am one of the lovely podcast hosts and members of Youtini, and I've been asked by Jose and Trev to read a little something. I was very pleased to get a note from Trev, which I have pulled up on my monitor here, and I am excited to read aloud to you. It said the following. Hi, Eric. When we first contacted you about reading a bedtime story for Star Wars Archives, there was only ever one story that I wanted to hear you read. Back in the day, the official Star Wars site had a databank, sort of an online encyclopedia. However, this one entry, Slyther Bushforb, is actually original fiction, inspired by the pulp noir genre, and I think it will perfectly suit your theatrical background. I hope you enjoy. Well, we'll find out, won't we? I've never read this before. I am very excited. So I only have one question. Are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then let's begin. Slyther Bushforb. It would take a devout, given theoretician a lifetime to calculate just how many stories there are in the multi-leveled city of Coruscant, but Slyther Bushforb will tell you that he's heard them all. A private investigator, or Private Dak, as he calls himself, he was a nook-nog with a talent for keeping his snout attuned to the pulse of the streets and the flow of crime. The case that had him seated at Dex's diner the same day Obi-Wan Kenobi walked in looking for information was one that started, like so many, with a woman. It was a dark night, one that would have undoubtedly been stormy had Coruscant's weather control network permitted it. Not many nook-nogs ever left the filthy swamps of Sump, which is why he knew the dame that walked into his office was trouble with a capital trill. She was a sight to behold, all right, with flesh display bulbs and a cold glint in her eye that would either break your heart or freeze it solid. Her name was Vecca Lodic, and she was the personal assistant of Saboka, the Doug actor enjoying some fame from his latest starring vehicle, Air Taxi Driver. Between puffs of a slender cigar, she recounted to him how some palooka was gunning for the matinee idol. Bushforb and his pal Rednax agreed to meet with her boss at Slyther's favorite Artie's joint, Dex's Diner. The meeting went smooth as Odigan silk, save for Saboka's annoyance when the Doug noticed a Jedi Putu seated in an adjacent booth. Still, Slyther's smooth talking put the Doug at ease, and when Saboka left, Slyther had the job. He began his legwork there, waiting for the Jedi to leave to ask Dex a few questions. The basilisk was always good for a rumor or two. Dex had heard something, a hunt that led Bushforb to other clues. Soon, he was sniffing out a solid lead from an old buddy in the Bounty Hunters Guild, which led to a rundown flat beneath Palm Plaza registered to a Doug named Manoka. Bushforb burst in, only to find Vecca holding a gun on him. She'd been the one to bump off her boss all along. Manoka was just an alias Saboka used to keep a low profile, and when he showed up at his own secret pad, she planned to rub out the Doug. With Bushforb taking the fall, of course. But he was nobody's patsy, not even for a looker like Vecca. She clearly hadn't learned to handle her rod on the mean streets of the underlevels, and when she glanced away, Bushforb got the drop on her. He pulled his own piece and gave her a nasty case of light poisoning. Well, that's the most genre I've seen Star Wars be, I gotta say. In a universe filled with genre storytelling, so perfectly noir, reminiscent of the dark black and white rainy nights I can hear the saxophones in me, and Slyther Bushforb is one of the most unique names I've heard thus far. Trev, the fact that you thought of me specifically for such a zany, quick tale of ne'er-do-wells, and of course a little bit of Attack of the Clones love, means the world. I hope I did it justice, and I can't wait to learn even more about Slyther Bushforb in the near future. Gotta be in the High Republic, right? Thanks, guys.